Well, you being an engineer, you know this better than me. How are we able to go to the moon on these Apollo rockets in the 60s, but now today we don't have a rocket that can get there, or at least in a man there? What's that all about? Why has our space technology gone backwards in a way?
Well, I think the biggest thing is there's a couple of reasons for it. 50 years ago, NASA had 10% of the federal budget. Now we have less than 1% of the federal budget. We don't have a conventional space race like we did against the Russians in the 1960s. But now we're relying on companies to do it. NASA is funding a lot of companies to do the space race now. So that's pretty exciting if you're a space enthusiast. So we have the technology. I mean, we sent the Artemis mission around the moon a couple of years ago. The Artemis 2 is going to travel around the moon again with astronauts. I think next year it's supposed to go.
Yeah, but they've been saying that. Charles, I always say next year we're going to send the man to the moon. Next year, the man to the moon. They've been saying that for 50 years now. I mean, is that a wrong assumption to say?
Well, I mean, I think this time they actually have the funding and they're building the hardware to do it. So either NASA will do it. What's nice is that either NASA will do it or the contractor companies will do it. So SpaceX can do it. Blue Origin is planning on doing it. So there are more than one player now, which is exciting. So someone will get there.
You know, everybody says the moon landing's fake or real. Why do people? I'm saying, this is my question to you. And I do think there's a lot of evidence that kind of goes both ways, in my personal opinion. But why would they fake it if they did fake it? In your opinion, if they did fake it, why would they fake it?
Well, obviously, we know they didn't fake it.
How do we know that? How do we know they didn't fake it, Charles? How do you know?
Well, okay. I have moon rocks in my lab at NASA. I am the lead scientist at NASA Electrostatics Lab.
Didn't they just give a moon rock to some? They gave it to a museum in the Netherlands, and they said it was petrified wood. And isn't there moon rocks in Antarctica supposedly? Don't they fall down on Earth? Isn't there? So isn't it possible to get moon rocks on Earth? Is that crazy?
It is. It truly is. We get Mars rocks too on Earth.
Yeah.
Whenever there's a meteor collision, it's possible.
So having a moon rock doesn't mean that we. I mean,
no,
I know
it's true. Doesn't.
But did you ever hear about the petrified wood thing?
No.
Yeah, supposedly they checked it. Okay, so I guess my point is with the NASA program, this is why what's frustrating with me is why we have not been back. Why is there not a man on the moon? I would think that it would be the number one marketing place in the world to put a Coca-Cola sign, a U.S. flag, like maybe shine a big light on it, make it a marketing tool. People are such capitalists. I'm surprised that hasn't happened. Do you think we just haven't gone to the moon because of money, kind of like what you insinuated earlier?
Yeah, I think so. We're a government entity. NASA is. We can't make money, so we're not allowed to advertise, right? So we have to rely solely on funding from the American people. And a lot of people don't want to spend their money on that. So, but now the tide is shifting. Now there's commercial entities, like I said, SpaceX and Blue Origin and others that are using their own funds, and they can advertise to the heart's content. So I think it'll happen. It's not easy to go to the moon. It's certainly difficult. Only major countries have done it. Companies have not yet landed anything on the moon successfly yet. They've been trying, but it's very complicated. It's very hard to do. So hopefully it'll happen soon. But I think that's the biggest thing. It's not easy to go to the moon. It's more than 250,000 miles away. It's a very dangerous journey, and it takes a lot of work from thousands of people to do it that work on it for several years. So there's nothing simple about going to the moon.